You're attuned to The Leading Edge with Saint, the pulse of cricket podcast. I'm Saint. Every week we bring you the stories, insights, and moments that drive this beautiful game. From the grassroots to the global stage, women's cricket, youth cricket, club heroes, and the stars lighting up international arenas. We've got it all. So hit the subscribe button and let's get straight into it. Welcome to The Leading Edge with Saint at Roundly Podcast Studio. I have a guest, someone who tends to be on the background of things, and I thought let me bring her to the front row of things. And that's the producer of this show, Maddy. How are you?
Saint, I'm very honored that you want me on here. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I like talking women's cricket. I don't think I always talk sense, but I like cricket in general. But thanks for having me.
And the reason actually we have you here, you've alluded to it, women's cricket. So last week, Lions versus Dolphins at the Wanderers. And I actually have a Lions supporter here. So I was like, nah, you have to come to the front of the mic and we have to discuss the Lions team. How do you think your team went? And obviously the Dolphins as well. And how the season goes. Because right now, as we speak, Western Province is playing against the Badgers. And we'll discuss that just a bit. But what we're going to concentrate on is last week's match or matches. Lions versus the Dolphins. The Dolphins won the Pro 50. Lions won the T20, which is the Pro 20. And as a fan, which one do you prefer winning? Because you are the Pro 50 defending champions.
For the Lions.
Yeah.
Ooh, it was very sad for them losing the 50 over. It was quite a interesting game. Dolphins bowlers were really getting into their Lions batters. So I'm upset, but I'm also happy for all the youngsters in the Lions team, the Dolphins team. I'm very happy for those Dolphins. See, I just want to say Lions the whole time because I'm such a Lions fan. And yeah, I'm upset that they lost the 50 over.
Yeah.
And the T20, well, they came back. Like they said, they will come back. It's a different game. And they've got some good T20 players in the Lions setup.
And it's funny how you speak about the youngsters. You know, one thing I noticed is that Shabnim played. Sunet, Fulyun, Low,
Yes.
also played in that match. And on your end, do you prefer Shabnim playing the T20 or do you prefer playing the 50 over in terms of her being a mentor to the younger boys? Because it seems like she's mentoring Faye Cowling.
Yeah, she must play the 50 overs, I think. It's nice with Kirsty Thompson, Dr. Thompson being gone, being the older, better, steadfast person who gave good guidance to all the players. It's nice to have Sunette there and to have Shabnim there. Yeah, she must keep on, handing over the baton and helping the young players. And then with the old wicket-keeper being the assistant coach. It's the Lions just bring experience to help grow, develop.
Interesting enough, do you know what surprised me about that match? Shabnim batting at number 5. I was like, interesting in the sense of I would have thought there's more batting depth, or was the plan for her to just probably smash and see how it goes? That was an interesting one in the sense of because Sunette was there and she batted at 7, and I would think Shabnim would bat at 7, and it was just the other way around.
It was moved around. I
Yeah.
think they're just trying new things, Why not?
Well, I hope it does come well for the Lions. It was an interesting experiment, but on Sunday it was I would say more for Lions probably batting lineup that I would think. Neo Mulefe, the other young wicket-keeper, I think she's 18 now. She was opening up with Madison Landsman, and then at 3 they had Diarra
Ramlakan.
Ramlakan.
Diarra Ramlakan.
So all the top 3 was literally under the age of 20. Jaina Evans did well. I think Jaina has been part of that Lions setup for a while as well. So the youngsters are coming up. Well, the wicket-keeper problem was addressed.
And she's doing well. It was
Yeah.
impressive. Like they lost all their wicket keepers. Well, because they're playing in the World Cup,
Cup,
and
yeah.
the one went to
Badges.
Badgers. And we had nothing to worry about. They have contingency plans, this Lions.
Oh man. So with the Dolphins, we have Nicole de Klerk, played. I think she played well in that first match. Obviously scoring the 80, from
Getting-
73 balls or 76 balls.
Getting those runs for the team
teams.
to help them.
And I think she's also, with her being part of the SA emerging side as well at some point, I think earlier this year, she, according to her, she's learned a lot from the coaches that she was part of in the SA emerging, was this high performance side for South Africa. So it'll be interesting to see how she goes within the season. Obviously, South Africa, at some point, we're going to need to replace Tasman Brits. She can't be there for long. I think in the next 2 years, I don't see Tasman Brits being still playing. I think she's 34 now.
Well, let's give these players until they're like 38, please.
You
Give them
know,
4 years.
And we have to start that.
Again, 4 years, we need Nicole de Klerk to step up.
Or Alex Candler or anyone else coming up. So it was quite interesting to see her. So I want to see how she progresses in the season. Does she finish in the top 3 or top 5 batters, or does she finish in the top as a top batter? Another one that impressed me was Michaela Andrews, coming from the Badgers to the Dolphins. Her first match, she took 4 wickets. And I think on Sunday, she took about 2 wickets as well. So in the T20, again, new environment's good for her, and she's making this opportunity count. As someone, I would say, when it comes to new environments, do you think, because one thing I noticed about Michaela Andrews, what the Dolphins did, they, in every press or whatever thing that they were doing, they had her there. And it seems like she feels wanted.
Yes.
Does that actually help?
Yeah, it's like you found a home.
Home.
Yeah, and they make me feel so welcomed and
Yes.
everything. It's like, this is where I can thrive. If you create that environment where you can thrive, you will thrive.
And I literally noticed in the sense of, with Badgers in the last 2 seasons, it felt like her and Jane Winster, they were there, but they're not there. They're there, and the concept of, because I also remember she used to be part of the SA emerging side, the high performance side as well. And then in the last 2 seasons, she was dropped, and Jane was dropped as well. So it could come a point where maybe by the end of the season, she gets herself back there, if this continues. Yeah. But it will be interesting one to see. One of your favorite players, Seshni.
Oh, what is the spinning she does?
The leggy.
A leggy. Yeah, no, she was amazing. It's so impressive against the Lions. Such a young player with such skill coming in and facing such a good team, such good batters, and she gets the wickets. That was just
and
wow.
She dried up the runs as well.
Yes, they couldn't score.
And that brings me to something specific about you being a Lions fan. Go from the Wanderers. The pitch was very conducive for spinners as opposed to pace bowlers. And I know the gents have been complaining, saying the Wanderers is no longer the Wanderers
The track.
track. I remember even Faf complaining in terms of the SA20, saying it's not the same. Like, we have pace bowlers, but the spinners are the ones getting the wickets. And the Lions actually had Shabnim, pace bowler, and I think she took like 1 wicket, and she wasn't troubling the
No, not at all.
Dolphins batters.
And she's the one who's always troubled
Yeah.
everybody, and hardly. So I wonder what's going on off that pitch.
You know, on my, I don't know. For me, if the Wanderers is no longer Wanderousing, then what's the point of the Wanderers?
Well, maybe they're trying to create something else, you know? Yeah, maybe they're investing in some spin bowlers. Well, you don't see that in the Lions women's team. There's not that specialized
No, it's
spinner.
no, actually, when you think about it, it's never like that, because your spinners are mainly Raisibe and Dozake, and Homoto Rampo was the 50-over captain, no longer the T20 captain. Interesting.
Just one thing on Khmotso.
Yeah.
She needs to work on her interview skills. She's so abrupt and direct. I love her, but girl, don't be so serious. It's still a game and have fun.
I actually did watch that interview. And Sarah Nelton, I think. Nettleton. So, yeah, those are your 3 spinners. Oh, sorry, Madison. But Madison is like a part-time spinner.
Yeah.
And with Jaina Evans.
She can spin well.
Yeah.
Jaina Evans.
Yeah. So, with the first match of the Lions, how do you see them progress this season? Do you think they retain the 50 over, or they finally become the team that removes Western Province from winning the Pro 20 for the past 2 seasons?
Well, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? Just somebody else up there. Just give. We'll see now what happens with Western Province game against the Badgers, because they failed miserably there against in the 50 over. So yeah, my hope is that Lions can just up their game, get strong, play fearless like a lion, roar their way through it, and why not win both?
I don't think other teams will take kindly to Lions winning both, but it will be an interesting one. I think, because no one, since the competition has been changed to be called the Hollywood's Pro Series.
Hollywoodbets Pro.
Hollywoodbets Pro Series. Sorry, Hollywoodbets. No one has won both. And interestingly enough, the Dolphins were the first ones to win it. And then the Lions came through last season and won it. And the Dolphins were like, we are starting our season quite well, and won that first match. Interestingly enough.
Watch this space.
Yeah. Even last season, they should have won it, because they were winning, and then for some odd reason, they just lost their last 3 matches. The Dolphins. They were in front, and they just lost their last 3 matches. So they lost against, I think, I'm not sure if it was SWD or Free State, but they lost against Western Province, and they lost against the Lions. And when the Lions won that match, that's when the Lions put themselves in front.
Yes.
So it's going to be an interesting season.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait to go watch a game at Newlands. And I wonder is the Lions coming to play?
I'm not sure when. That is it about that first match, I think. There's something else I actually wanted to pick your brain on when it comes to women's cricket. So right now, Western Province is playing against the Badgers in Oudtshoorn.
Yeah.
And SWD, aka the Badgers, Collingwood Badgers, they did quite a lot of changes in their team.
So many changes.
And I'm not going to necessarily enter the changes themselves, but they have a new captain, Muzinhle Kula, who was the captain at Free State or the Knights. Now she's the new captain of the.
Now, question: do they have any players from the area? George, Mossel Bay, Oudtshoorn? Is
That's
there any development happening within the badges?
I'm sure there's a development that's happening, but that's exactly what I want to talk about. Like, I want to pick your brain on this one because on that Pro 50 match, the two openers, Julia Hall and Palisa Mamp. Julia is from Cape Town. Palisa Mamp is from Joburg. And then there was Nadine Moodley, former Proteas player. And then there was Yolandi Porgeter, Izal Silius, Zintle Kula. I can go on. I can go on. But in that 11 players, because even Giselle Abrams is from Paul or Stellenbosch. So in that 11 players, Lucian Swartz was from Uppington, aka Northern Cape. So in that 11 players, none of them are from
Like all
the Garden
11,
Route.
none of them are locals.
I had to do my research, and because at some point I thought the former Proteas, or maybe she's still part of the Proteas squad, the wicket-keeper, Mike Derrida, I thought she was from the region because she was the longest serving out of all the players that are there. And nope, she's from Eastern Province,
Oh my word.
from Kraddock.
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 Mika's van Kraddock.
So now, as someone, obviously, you are also part of, you are selected Western Province.
Yeah, for the under 16s
Under
and
16
the
and under
19s.
19.
That's
So
how we
you-
met.
Yep. So you are part of that development pipeline structure. And Garden Route Badgers will be playing in the CSA weeks, be it the under 16 weeks or the 19 weeks.
Okay, then we can see.
Yeah. So they do have players that will be playing in those. But now it seems like the pipeline stops right there and they are more buying
Yes.
players. So if you were a coach or a selector in that region, how would that make you feel? That's one. I have quite a few questions for you. That's one.
Okay. Okay.
And then, secondly, as well, is it fair to from the players of the region knowing that it doesn't matter whether I perform or don't perform, or if I don't perform, the union won't give me the skills or the development
Yes,
process,
the opportunities.
the opportunity, so that I do perform in a year or two. Because sometimes a player, you need to be in that level and play for a year or two before you actually excel.
Yeah, it's really a bad thing for the province. If I was a coach or a selector, I'm doing all this hard work, developing players or selecting players, and everybody have that's the pipeline. Okay, you're doing well at club cricket, school cricket. Let's get you into the trials. Let's select a team. This is perfect for our region. Let's go and to the CSA week. Let's go and see what our talent does, because it's your talent from the region. And then you say you've done the under 19s, you performed well, you got a good wickets or good batting, and now you're ready to step up to the provincial team, the main team. And then, nope, sorry, the opportunities are not there. We got this one from that province, that one from that province, and that one, that one. And sorry, there's no space for you. So what next? Because nobody else have seen you play. Nobody is going to go, oh, come join us, because you didn't get the opportunity to even go and do anything. Where other provinces, yes, we've been working with this 16-year-old since she came and showed her skills, or 13-year-old. Because like this Lions players who's been there since they were 13 and still in the team and being looked after.
Who's to blame for this one in the sense? Because I'm the coach, the new coach. They have a new coach, Nadine de Klerk. I'm coming in the space and I'm looking at the quality, and I'm like, this is not the quality that is going to make this region stay. And the CEO, the president, the board, they want to be in that division one.
They want to win.
They want to win. So they will do whatever sometimes to be in that Division One, and part of that is signing whoever that they can sign.
Yeah.
And as for CSA, they'll be like, well, we have opportunities for players that are not on Division One. They can play Division One cricket, part of their development. So don't you guys want this player and this player and this player to be in Division One? And don't you guys want Division One to be competitive? So in order for Division One to be strong, we need specific players. And in our region, we don't have those
don't have those players. Well, go and work on those players. You have them in your setup. Just go develop. Spend some more time on it. Don't give up on them.
Is it also fair?
And who got you in Division One?
It was those players, some of those
Yeah.
players, and they're gone now, some of them.
Yes, because they weren't respected and kept and, developed, giving the opportunities.
Cities.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
It's an interesting one. Because is it fair for the Knights? Because the Knights got relegated last season
And they lost so many players.
and they lost so many players. Or regions that actually are developing their own players and they're still playing in their region. It's a hard one because at the same time, we call this a professional setup. So if it's a professional setup, a team should be able to buy anyone they can afford or sign whoever that they can afford and represent the team, be it from locally developed player or not. It's an interesting conundrum.
So how many of their players are youngsters, that's early 20s, that have showed their worth in other provinces? How many of them gone to the Badgers?
You're saying like players that have left the Badgers that are young?
No, players that left other provinces that have joined the Badgers now.
Oh,
How many of them are still the young? They didn't go and get old girls. They went and got...
it's a mixture.
Okay.
It's a mixture because Lucian Swartz was playing in the SA under 19 week, I think 2 years ago for Northern Cape, and then went to the Knights last season, and now she's at Badgers. There's Giselle Abrams, who was 2 seasons ago, was the CSA under 19 week player of the tournament. She comes from Poland.
Okay.
Yeah. Julia Hall comes from Cape Town, went to Poland. But you would say Julia is, I think she's probably 23, 24.
So there are still youngsters who
Some of them,
showed their skills
Yes.
in other teams.
And then you have your more mature players like Yolandi Potgieter, who was at the Knights last season. I think she's in the 30s. Zintle Kula in her 30s.
Okay, so it's a balance.
It's a
okay,
balance.
so I couldn't even go of that route. Okay, they gave young ones the opportunity. No, they just want to fill their team with people who might win it for them.
I think that's the main thing. I think the main thing is they want to make sure that they don't get relegated. And good way to beat Western Province.
Yeah,
in
look at
the-
him. First 50 over game and poo-poo.
Yeah, so we'll see how things go in the T20 setup. And
Shall we change the channel to that so we can see where that?
we're not done here. Maddy. We are not done here. There's something that I wanted to speak about as well. Proteas are doing well.
Yes.
3 wins out of 2.
2
Tasman,
wins out of 3.
Yes, 2 wins out of 3. Sorry. Tasman Brits did well. The captain, Laura, did well.
Nadine de Klerk.
Nadine de Klerk.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, she had an
What a
OMG
performance. Yeah.
finally.
Yes.
But for me, she's always had that.
Yeah, she's always the finisher.
Yeah. No.
She just got the chance.
Yes. I still have my own little beef with that team, like
Ooh.
specific changes, but I'm not going to get into them quite yet. What I'm going to get to in terms of our bowlers, Nukulu like Mlaba has 6 wickets in the tournament so far. She's done well, but interestingly enough, yesterday it was announced that she got a demerit point for
What did she
waving
get
goodbye.
it for?
For waving goodbye.
Oh, that one.
Spirit of cricket, spirit
But
of the
she
game.
just went like the queen. And
You know what's the funny thing about this?
Yeah.
Not so long ago, India refused to shake hands with Pakistan. Pakistan during the World Cup is playing India, right? Indian captain Harmanpreet Kaur
Harmanpreet
Harmanpreet
Kaur.
Kaur didn't shake hands with Pakistan captain
Yeah.
Fatima Sana, and that is not a problem.
I don't understand.
India versus Pakistan during the Asia Cup, man, they did not. The funny thing about the Indian team, didn't want to even take the trophy from a
Yeah.
Pakistan administrator or someone who was born from Pakistan, which is fine according to the ICC. But when Unonkululeko Mlaba just waves,
It's like,
it wasn't even big.
Toodles.
It wasn't even on her face.
yes.
There was no
There was
aggression.
no aggression. It's just like, I'm not seeing you. Bye-bye.
And bam, ICC.
Oh, no. It's not fair. Well, was there any words with it? We don't know. We only saw the...
If there were words, they were probably before that. But when she picked up the wicket, there were no words.
No.
It was just
No. Well, so what does it mean for her, the demerit point?
a demerit point is just because I think you have to have so much, probably, I'm not sure if it's 7 or 5 demerit points in the space of 2 years, which is 24 months. So this one was the first one. So doesn't do much for her. So the only time this point will be removed in her name is in 24 months.
Okay. So it will sit there for 24 months. So no
Yeah.
more tiddles.
To an Indian player.
Ah.
Don't do it to an Indian player. Don't do it to an English player. Don't do it to an Australian player.
But if you do it to like New Zealand, Bangladesh, it's all right. Don't worry about it. They don't run the ICC. They're not
Nah.
BCCI or...
Nah. Nah. But it also depends who you are,
But she's so kind and just a lovely personality. Why would I think there's anything to it?
But for me as well, they remove the sportsmanship in terms of the
Yes.
women in cricket, or the competitiveness in women's cricket, because cricket is an entertainment.
But how's that different, the Toodles versus Cup going like that?
There is
Nope.
depends who you are, I guess.
No, double standards. It's wrong.
Isn't that cricket?
It's gentleman's game.
I think that's where the problem is. If it was a human game
Now you've knocked it on the head.
or a ladies' game,
The ladies must be ladies. They can't
Exactly.
show any emotion.
gentlemen, it all depends on who's that gentleman, and then the rules just changed.
Oh my gosh. No, I don't get it. But I'm excited for this World Cup. I hope South Africa can keep this momentum and just show their skills, get to that final.
I think after beating India on my end, the road to the semifinals looks clearer. I think it looks clearer. Now we're going to have trial by spin. We're going to have Bangladesh. We're going to have Sri Lanka. And we're going to have Pakistan.
Can I tell you who I'm the most impressed with? I wasn't a fan, but now I'm converted.
Who?
Sinalo Jafta playing spin. Oh my gosh. I was like, no, Karaba Meso need to be in the team. She can bat better, but you were right. I'm sorry to say it. You were right. Sinalo deserved to be in the team.
I think Sinalo is a good, I would say to some extent mentor to Karabo Meso. Wicket keeping, that part, because we may say she's not the best wicket keeper South Africa has ever had, but she's quite athletic.
Yeah.
And I think that does help. Again, I would say I'll speak about the hockey, like sweeping and stuff. So that is good for her. I think within a year or two, though, Karabo Meso will be the number one glove person, with no doubt.
Just give her this experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not a prediction, because if it was a prediction, it would be wrong. But what I would like, there's a wicketkeeper within your team called Jay Lee Philander.
Yeah.
I would like Jay Lee and Karabo Meso to be the wicketkeeper for the Proteas. And I would like for Jay Lee to be the main wicketkeeper. The only reason, no, let me land, let me land,
Okay,
let me
this is so
land, let me land.
interesting.
The reason I would like Jay Lee to be the main wicket because she's good. The reason why I would like Jay Lee to be the main so that Karabo Meso can actually work more on her batting.
Okay, that makes sense.
It frees her up
Yeah.
to concentrate on her
Because she's
batting
got wicket keeping skills.
skills.
We know she can bat, but she needs to become a real confident batter. Yeah, so she can really, I am the Quentin de Klerk of the women's team.
And the thing is, even at the under 19 World Cup, she didn't perform the way that we know Karabo to be. I don't know. I'm not going to say the wicket keeping and the batting gets to her. I think sometimes just the pressure of Ungu Karabo, she's Karabo.
Yeah.
And we expect her to perform immediately. And we expect her to be the next big black African batter. And I think in order for her to be that, if we can free her from the wicket-keeping duties in the floor round, she is going to be. And Ujay Lee is not a lesser quality. I think if that will happen, it has to be, again, change it with someone who's going to be a good quality wicket-keeper. And I think Jay Lee has it, but we'll see how the future goes.
Okay, so AJ, listen, let Karabo just bat. Thank you.
Yeah, I think so. But in terms of the team, as I said, I do have just a small quarrel. Just a small quarrel.
Oh,
And I said something specific. I can never predict what our coach is going to do. And again, in Mandla Mashimbi, we believe.
we believe in him. Come on, Nama.
But I would like for Sune has been batting well at number 3.
That was impressive.
Yeah,
yes.
she's been batting well number 3, but I still wanted to go back to 5.
Okay.
The reason being is that I think she plays spin quite well.
And that comes later.
Yeah. And going to the World Cup, she was batting at 5. We had Ulanduk at 3. We had Karabo at some point at 3. And then we have Nondumiso Shangas at 3. And we were singing praises for Nondumiso, but she's taking that responsibility quite well. And then all of a sudden, we go to Pakistan for the warm-up matches. Nondumiso is not playing. If she's batting at 6, 7. And Annika Bosch is back in the team. We're not sure where she's going to bat. So, Maddy, maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like just bring back Nondumiso,
Yes.
right, at 3. Drop Annika Bosch.
No.
Yes.
Anneke Bosch had 3 chances. Get her out of it and give Annelie Dirksen a chance.
Exactly. So
No, come on, because
let's
then
go
you have
back.
Annelie Dirksen with that bowling as well. You have 2 choices.
You have to drop Masabata class because it's either Masabata class or Ayabonga Kaka if you're going to have Nondumiso Shangas.
Yeah.
And she's an off spinner. She's going to.
It was now like they dropped Masabata class. They brought in Tumi.
She did well.
She did so well. So that is very. But it depends. Okay, who are we playing next? Are we going to need the spin or the pace? Or what are we going to need?
I'm looking at this World Cup and I'm seeing there's no difference. I think we're playing Bangladesh next. I feel like it makes no difference whether it's pace or spin in the sense of the wickets. It seems like they're good at the start, and then as the day goes, it feels like it's spin goes and slow, and teams are scoring runs, and the pace bowlers are going for miles. Like they're not. So spin is more important, I feel, in this World Cup. Yeah.
What is our spinner on the bench?
The only spinner on the bench is Nondumiso.
Yeah. So it just makes sense. Okay. To me, you had a chance. Very well done. We'll give Shangase a chance. And Anneke, you had 3 chances. You're out. Strike 3. You're out. and bring in Anne Dixon, because those Bangladesh girls will be afraid of Anne bowling at them. So, sorry, I'm afraid if she will bowl at me. So bring her in for the next game.
Yeah. And my only issue with, I think, Andere is that sometimes because of we expected to pull those bouncers, and these pitches are not bouncing. So they just become nice balls for them to just pull, and they make now Aneri look like she's not such a good bowler.
Yeah, that's true.
And it feels like there's a conscious to say, you are an enforcer, bowl those short balls.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, bowl what you need to bowl, and we see how we go.
Exactly.
That's what I think. But I would really like where we have Chloe Tryon, Anari Dirksen, Nadine de Klerk
Yeah.
as our finishers.
No, definitely.
That strengthens the.
They are the guns.
Exactly, and it makes our batting lineup long.
Yeah.
And it seems like this World Cup that's actually working.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we're the one team that have a very long batting lineup that we can trust in. From all the teams, like, there's always Australia. They always like bat deep, but I'm feeling we're stronger this World Cup. Definitely.
We'll see how we go.
Yeah.
Thank you for pulling through from behind the mic to front of the mic where we discuss the Lions. Hopefully they retain their Pro 50 or win the Pro 20.
Yes, they must win one of them or both.
Ambitions.
Lions, roar.
And then this week, obviously, we have Western Province and the Badgers battling out. And then we also say good luck to the Proteas. Keep on winning.
Yes,
Road to
definitely.
the semis is on. And I think the next match in the Hollywoodbets Pro Series, it will be the Titans. And what else is the other team we haven't seen?
Northwest.
The Dragons. So that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Mignon.
Oh my gosh. Yes, Mignon. She just goes where there's a contract, baby formula or baby nappies ain't cheap. So I'm excited and it's so amazing for female cricketers to still get a contract, even while she had her babies, and then going to a new team that's in the main division, and then showing that she can still do it after 2 babies.
She's class, though.
No, she is. Oh, I was watching all the reviews from the previous World Cups. She's just so what's the word? Like, in it. In all the games that I won, she was there as the main person.
She is in there.
She is.
Lastly, I was impressed. Dane came back from India and played.
Oh, yes.
Commitment. So she wants to be part of that Proteas team.
I really want to know, did she get any net times while she was in India? Because she wasn't preparing with her team, the Western Province.
I actually thought about something. I think she did get some net time there because, what do you call this? Claire.
Yes, because Claire's there.
Is that side. So probably they did some few one-on-one sessions together.
Yeah.
And obviously she's...
Okay, so now I forgive her because I thought, okay, no, she's just doing whatever, but I forgot Claire was there. So Claire worked on it. She's the coach for the Western Province. And I'm sure she still give a lot of input on the team. And yesterday, in 50 over, Danae was the only one to score runs.
Yeah, 66, I think, top scored in the match.
Yeah. Okay, but how she got out? How do you choose that shot with fielders right there? Lap shot. What do you call that? A reverse
sweep.
A reverse sweep.
This is where we end this.
Okay.
On Danae's reverse sweep getting out. But, sorry, before we end up, do you know what I also liked about that match when Danae was playing? Because Danae batted with 3 youngsters.
Yes.
When she got there, Gemma Botha was there. Mentorship.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. And then Kyla Reinecker.
Yeah.
And then Jaylee Philander.
Oh, so it's 3 youngsters. And they did well. They stayed in and they talked and, she got them going.
So that was quite an interesting one, I guess.
I feel that if Danae can have this attitude of, okay, I'm going to perform, but I'm also going to give back as I go. And if she can show that giving back on her social media and to the public, to the world, that she is giving back to cricket, I think her image will be so much better.
Interesting.
That's already my point of view.
Maddy, thank you for pulling through this week on the Leading Edge with Scent and
At
Roundly Podcast Studio. Again, to everyone who watches and has subscribed, thank you. Please keep on watching. And on another note, please subscribe. On another note, if you want to be part of this show, hit us up. If you want
to sponsor,
please again, hit us up.
Your logo can be right here somewhere, or your bat, or your ball, or something.
Exactly. So yes, until our next episode, man. Thank you guys. See you.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to the Leading Edge with Scent, the Pulse of Cricket podcast, proudly produced by Roundly Podcast Studio in partnership to bring you the stories and the voices of cricket. Until next time, stay on the leading edge of the game.